canceled regular practice yesterday and looked like playing some sort of like wiffle ball or tennis ball game. But what did you do and why did you do it?
Home run derby, actually. Just everyone's tired from all the travel the last month or so, and it just felt like a good day to unwind and do something fun.
How did it go?
In some cases better than others. So not everybody played baseball growing up.
Can we get it? Yeah.
What's that?
Power hitter.
Mikey Thompson, Clay's brother. Clay was good. I know you're going to be shocked, but Steph and Clay were both excellent.
How about worst hitter?
Not commenting on that.
Hey, speaking of Clay, he has been driving quite frequently since he came back. What does this do for your offense? How does it impact your offense?
Well, we have a lot of spacing. You know, this team has a lot of shooting, and you know, if he's out there with Steph and Otto and Wiggs, there's a lot of room to drive. So. Yes, Clay's doing a really good job of attacking the rim and getting into the paint and moving the ball on. He and Wiggs seem to have a pretty good connection already. And it's been fun to watch Clay back for obvious reasons, but it's great to see him clicking quickly with everybody.
Following up on that, he's also been handling the ball more. And the other night you said, well, yeah, last time he played alongside Kevin Durant and didn't have to do that as much. But now with this Kerr group, does not having Draymond Green out there as another facilitator also kind of increase the amount that Clay has been handling, or do you expect that to stay as well? No,
I think that's a good point. I think with Draymond being out, the ball is going to be distributed more. Draymond's, you know, our main facilitator, leading assist guy, and so with him out, a lot of guys will have to share those responsibilities, including Clay.
Steve, with Otto out tonight, what's gone into what's the thought process been on some of the back-to-backs as far as which one he sits or which one somebody sits versus playing in another one?
Well, in general, Andre and Otto will not play back-to-backs. It's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, that's going to be the case. And if that's the case, then they'll split the two games. With Clay being back now, the usual rotation will be Clay would play one night and Otto would play the following night because of the shooting. We like to have enough shooting every night, and each one obviously provides us a lot of perimeter shooting and spacing.
So Clay is not going to play tomorrow, you don't think? Correct.
Clay will not play tomorrow. Andre will not play tomorrow.
Okay. Other question: where are we with James now in terms of his progress getting back to the court? Anything new?
Yeah,
Steve, that doesn't look good.
Well, yeah, I mean, we haven't had a practice now in about a week. We won't have a practice this week because we got a game tomorrow and a day off the following day. So I wish I had something to report. And I know this whole process has been, frustrating for James above all, but also for you guys because you're looking for answers, and for me because I've told you 3 different times I thought he was going to have contact the next week, and then each time it was pushed back. And so this has just not been an easy one to figure out. And so we're still hopeful that, he's going to be cleared for contact soon, but there hasn't been an opportunity for that to happen this week.
Steve, you've spoken repeatedly this season about how Jonathan, if a draft pick of his stature would be elsewhere, he'd be playing so many minutes. And you talked about your message to him the other day about running the floor, and Clay and Steph are going to get their shots. And just, are you doing that with him regularly? A little tip here and there, and how big are his strides now that he is getting these chances? It's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of absorbing a lot. I think his recognition of what's happening on the floor is dramatically improved from the beginning of the season, and that's what we're hoping for. And that includes, daily film sessions, sometimes with me, sometimes with Kenny Atkinson, sometimes with Jama, sometimes a team film session where we'll point out a couple things that he needs to do in front of the whole group, and sometimes just individually. So it's all part of the season-long development plan, and it just so happens that he is now in a position to play with Draymond being out, and also having earned it through his own fine play the last week or so.
Steve, it didn't sound like a concern after last game, but Steph's hand, is he okay to go there?
Yeah, he's fine.
Both his hands?
Both hands. His feet are good too.
Hey, Steve, the latest round of All-Star votes came out. What do you think of the potential of having at least two starters in the mix?
I haven't looked at the votes, so I assume Steph is so is the other one Wiggs or Draymond?
Yeah, Wiggs.
Wiggs. Wiggs has had an all-star season for sure, and I really, really hope he makes it. I think he deserves it. I also know that there are plenty of other coaches out there who are pining for their guys, and there's lots of worthy candidates, but Wiggs is having a fantastic year, shooting the three so well, defending the toughest offensive player night after night, making accommodations for our style and for his teammates and blending in beautifully. So I have no doubt he's an all-star player, but I really, my fingers are crossed that he makes it, because it would be a great honor for him, and I know how much he'd appreciate it.
Looney's had like huge rebounding quarters, huge rebounding games lately. Do you think, do you see anything that is different within that? Is it just kind of coincidence the ball's bouncing to him more?
I just think he's at the point in his career where his knowledge is matched by his health. He's, his history, 2 hip surgeries his first 2 years, and a couple good years where his play was sporadic based on our roster. The last year and a half or so where he had the health issues. He's now in a great place health-wise, and he's starting every night, and he's getting his opportunity, and he's pouncing on it. So it's a combination of all those things coming together at the right time. But you don't just fall into that your first year. There's a lot of work that goes into understanding rebounding and positioning and boxing out, and which offensive boards to go for, which ones not to go for. And he's learned all that stuff because he's a really good student of the game. And so I'm thrilled for Loon. He's just having a fantastic year.
Steve, just to follow up on James, it's you mentioned it's a hard one to figure out, but it's also a matter of practice time, right? I mean, you made that point, and there isn't a lot of practice time right now. It's not as if he's had some kind of a setback or something. I want to make sure
the point I was making is that over the last month, I'm well aware that you guys have asked, and several times I've said, yeah, we're hoping that he's going to have contact next week, and then he didn't for one reason or another, and he had swelling in his knee, and then he had the procedure to flush the swelling out, and then so there's just been sort of this extended time where he's been out. That's been again most frustrating for him. So it's that the beat goes on. We're still very hopeful that this is all going to happen, that he's going to be out there soon. In context, circumstances, and practice, and but at this point I'm also aware of I'm the boy who cried wolf a little bit. So when it happens, and we'll let you know.
How do you keep his spirits up? We've seen Clay had some ups and downs, different scenario, obviously, but
yeah, the difference is Clay. Clay was an established player, and James is still trying to establish himself in the league. So he's doing a great job of keeping his spirits up, and he's around the team, and the guys really enjoy being around him. And he's a good learner. He listens to his veteran teammates, and everybody's pulling for him. And it's just a matter of continuing to rehab and get in the training room and the weight room, and hopefully everything will come together.
All right, we're going to have one on Zoom. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Steve. Hope you're well. You've talked plenty of time about rotation changes and the way in which they may or may not affect the team. So what would you say are the keys to find that happy medium between having guys in and out and keeping this team's identity?
Yeah, well, it requires a team-wide commitment to defense, which is being challenged right now without Draymond. We really emphasize it every day. And then I think what's crucial is you have to have guys like Damian Lee and Juan Toscano-Anderson, guys who may or may not be in the rotation, but stay ready regardless, and understand that their time will come, and then maybe they'll be out of the rotation for a little bit. And if you have a veteran team and guys who understand roles like that, it's much easier to keep momentum going forward when you do have injuries. And it's been really great to to see the team respond well this year. I mentioned Juan and Damian, but also the young guys, Moses Moody and J.K., Chris Chioza. They've all really done a good job of supporting the group and being prepared for when their time comes.
Great. Thank you,
Thanks.
Coach. Stay